This is an instructional video for the Sumostance extension ladder by Little Giant. I'd like to point out some of the features that make the Sumostance different than traditional extension ladders on the market today. To start with, you'll notice these truss-style cutouts on the side of the fiberglass. Between the new resin that we use in the fiberglass material and these cutouts on the side, we've been able to drastically reduce the weight of the extension ladder. Hopefully this will reduce the injuries and strains and sprains from taking the ladders on and off the trucks and setting them up, making it easier to set them up properly. You'll notice at the top of the ladder there's 2 red rungs with the cable hook and the V-rung. Without the cable hook and the V-rung, there'd be 3 red rungs. Those are the do not climb rungs. Those are the rungs that you need to be above a roof line when you're setting up the ladder, and ones you're not supposed to climb on when you're leaned up against something. Another good feature of the product is here on the side rail of the ladder, there's a sticker that points out the balance point of the ladder. So when you're taking it off the truck or picking it up off the ground, you immediately know where the balance point of the ladder is, and you're able to put that on your shoulder right there and be able to balance that ladder and easily move it around. Now, on the side of the ladder also, you'll notice this sticker. It's a QR code. That QR code can be scanned with a smartphone or an iPhone, and it immediately pulls up the safety training video and the instructional video of the product. So that's always attached to the ladder, and you can pull that up on your smartphone. Now, another cool feature of the product is you'll notice that the rope is not down the middle of the rungs. This is a trip hazard. We've moved the rope and tucked it inside the channel of the fly section, so it's protected inside this channel. And we've double pulleyed the product so that it reduces the effort that it takes to raise and lower the product. So you can easily raise it up and lower it down. Again, helping reduce accidents in the setup of the product and the strains and sprains associated with the force needed to extend that ladder. So that's cut that required force in half by using 2 pulleys and then removed that trip point from the center of the ladder. Now, the thing that makes the Sumostance completely different than a regular extension ladder is the Sumo base. Now, these outriggers in black on the side lock into place for storage and transportation, but they easily open. There's a lever on the 3rd rung from the bottom. You squeeze that lever, it releases that outrigger, and then locks into place. You come over on the other side. Now, you'll notice on that pin, the top of the pin is red. When you telescope that back out, you want to make sure that you can't see any red, and that indicates that it's locked into the hole and that your Sumostance outriggers are fully engaged. Now, this will double the width of your ladder at the base, giving you 500% better side-to-side stability. Now, there's a couple of levels built into the housing of the Sumostance base. There's one here on the side that indicates the 75.5-degree angle, the 4-to-1 angle, that you want to have your extension ladder leaned up against your work surface. So you can quickly get a visual of whether or not your ladder's leaned up at the proper angle. Now, the other level on the front of the housing is to make sure that your ladder is level side to side. We found in testing that if your ladder, a 28-foot extension ladder, is off just 1 inch on the ground, that it's at the top of the ladder, it's off 16 inches. So it's completely out of the footprint of the ladder. That increases the chances of a side tip. So you want to make sure that your ladder is level, and that's built right in. Besides doubling the footprint of the product, the Sumostance base also levels. So I'll bring a brick in here. You can see how far off that puts that ladder. In order to use the leveling part of the Sumostance, just push the button on the front of the housing and push your ladder back over and check your level to make sure that the bubble's in between the lines. Now, this will adjust 1/8 of an inch in 1/8 of an inch up to 9 inches on either side of the product. In order to take that back down, we've put a double button as a safety precaution to bring that back down. You push the button in the front, push down this button on the side, and that disengages it and allows you to telescope it back up. To fold the Sumostance legs back in for storage and transport, take a little bit of pressure off, squeeze that trigger, and these are spring loaded, so it will pull it back into place. Again, check to make sure that you can't see any red on the pin, and then pull that in and put that back into place. That's the Sumostance extension ladder by Little Giant.